Ladies and gentlemen, in one of the feel-good stories of the day, Christie failed to get the 2,000 signatures needed to appear on the Maine GOP primary ballot, which is absolutely hilarious. And so the people of Maine, I commend. I think you're fantastic for just being yourself and looking at the GOP field and saying, yeah, it's pretty much only Trump. So obviously Trump is up there in Maine and every other state. He is 50 to 60 to 70 points ahead of Christie and everyone else in the GOP primary. He's defeating mashed potato brains in national polls by 1.7 to 2.5 points nationally. That's after having been indicted 4 times. Do you understand how popular and how much appeal you must have throughout the country to have Jimmy Kimmel every single night devote his life to taking you down? Social media algorithms, CNN, MSNBC, The Atlantic, New York Times, Washington Post. Trump has only negative media coverage. And still, he's defeating Biden nationally in polls throughout the country. And Christie is out there saying, "Oh my God, he's going to get convicted." Nobody cares. Nobody will care because it's purely politically motivated. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you look, he did not get the 2,000, according to the Washington Examiner. Both candidates, Christie and another candidate, failed to get the 2,000 signatures. Here you go. Both candidates failed to reach the 2,000 signature threshold. He only collected 844 signatures in the state. This is a man who is going to go up against the Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, social media algorithms. Say what you want about Trump. He's the only chance that Republicans have, or that really, look, it's not, I don't care about the Republican Party. If, for example, I want somebody who is against never-ending military conflict. Trump is. Biden and Christie are not. Neither is Nikki Haley. JFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Trump. I like that type of candidate. Donald Trump is the only choice for me, and the only choice for a great many Americans. Actually, 70 plus million Americans in 2020, and then 60 plus million in 2016. You're not even competitive. See, the Republicans already are fractured. There's no real Republican Party anymore. Democrats walk in lockstep, Republicans pretend, and hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. To read my writing on the Hill, the Huffington Post Salon, the Jerusalem Post, Federalist, other publications, go to hagoodman.com. The super thanks is below, and the Patreon is below as well. A lot of Republicans pretend to take a stand against Trump, like Liz Cheney, for example. Liz Cheney has she's not even popular in Wyoming anymore. These are the people who don't like Trump aren't even popular or don't even have enough popularity. Lord Almighty. Don't even have enough popularity to garner 2,000 plus votes. So it's pretty unbelievable. So Asa Hutchinson and Christie failed to make Maine Republican primary ballot. Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson and former New Jersey Governor Christie are set to be absent from the Maine Republican primary ballot. Do you think, ladies and gentlemen, that if it was Christie versus Biden nationally, okay, do you think it's even competitive in any way, shape, or form? It would be like a tank versus a Tesla or whatever. If both were, I mean, it, it would be like the 85 Bears versus the Republican softball team or whatever, Democratic Party softball. I mean, it would be a complete and utter destruction. So it makes no sense. This whole thing, it's just pure theater now. These are opportunists. Like even DeSantis is an opportunist. They're trying to make a name for themselves. They're not doing themselves any favors. Everyone understands that if Trump doesn't defeat, I think Hillary Clinton will be the 24 nominee. But let's say if a Republican isn't in the Oval Office, meaning if Trump isn't in the Oval Office, we continue to have a decline in terms of foreign policy on the world stage and economic policy. And we continue to have the chaos and mayhem in terms of domestic politics and in terms of foreign affairs. We had record low poverty with Trump. We have inflation through the roof still for food and for rent. And then we have interest rates through the roof trying to combat the inflation that Democrats said was only temporary. So, I mean, Trump was a very good president. Abraham Accords, those were extremely important for that region, and we're seeing now all the chaos and mayhem to try to prevent those accords from working out. But see, none of this, like, in terms of foreign policy, all the things that we see wouldn't have taken place with Trump. He wouldn't have left billions upon billions in armament, in arms, after the Doha Agreement. That came with stipulations. That was a May 1st, 2021 withdrawal. When they say, well, Trump negotiated, it was a bad deal. No, it wasn't. It was negotiated to remove Americans, but there were stipulations. And I want Americans away, out of never-ending military conflict. I don't want Americans sent to never-ending military conflict. Liz Cheney, her father, Nikki Haley, Bush, Rumsfeld, Cheney, Rumsfeld, Christie, these are all traditional. Even DeSantis very likely is a traditional Republican who will have no problem sending Americans off to never-ending military conflict. I'm against that. That's more important than words or decorum or sensibilities linked to liberal ideology. That's why that's why they obsess over Trump so much, because it's about sensibilities and decorum, and they don't like his personality. That's the only thing people can say about Trump. They can't say that he didn't have a good economy. They can't say that he didn't have a good foreign policy. They say, oh my God, it was chaos. But a meltdown from MSNBC and CNN and newspapers around the country and journalists, if they're melting down because of Trump's personality and ignoring economic numbers, what kind of world are we living in? Well, I mean, you have a situation where they force out George Santos. Now there's only a 3 congressperson majority in the House. It's unbelievable. George Santos, by the way, is most Democrats, or I should say at least the president. The president of the United States, Biden, routinely lied about his past. He was accused of plagiarism. He routinely states that he achieved things and did things that he didn't do. And nobody cares. Nobody's forcing him. No Democrats are forcing him out, but they expect Republicans, and Republicans did, which makes no sense. None of it makes any sense. Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Trump, Tucker Carlson, you might not like them, but they don't need media, okay? Every other Democrat, especially Biden, needs media attention, and most other Republicans need media attention. There are other Republicans, too, that don't need that media attention. There are here and there other Democrats or independents. Like I said, Tulsi Gabbard, JFK Jr. are able to do very well because people love them, and they don't they don't get positive media attention all the time. But that's what you need in a candidate, somebody who doesn't kowtow to media. And that's what you get with Trump. In addition to record low poverty, hit subscribe to this channel right now. The economic numbers on the Trump were better than any president in recent memory. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. Bye. 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 Thank you so very much.